व्यक्तिहरूको जनता समाजको प्रिय corruption adversely affects each and every sector
any
of the
sort of
country.
ideology. This is a great location for Nepal to explore its potential.
Namaste. Welcome to Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2014, produced by Leadership Academy. In today's episode, we are featuring the journey from competition to final round of the runner-up of Nepal's Top 7 Debaters 2014, Category 2, Grade 7, 8 and 9, English Language, Miss Stuti Singh of Grade 9 from St. Mary's School.
Beauty pageants do more harm than good.
Have you ever seen an ugly Miss World? Have you ever seen an ugly Miss World? So is outer beauty not mainly judged in a beauty pageant? Beauty pageants take us back to old times when women were judged on the basis of their appearance rather than abilities. My opponents may say that they are also based on talent, but my dear, parading in swimsuits and just wearing designer gowns is not talent. Winning Miss Photogenic is not talent. My opponents also said that pageants award scholarships. But these come nowhere near the amount invested. And how many women have really made use of their scholarships and titles? 10? 20? Getting the fame and just maintaining the status of a beauty queen, is that all the responsibility of a winner? People like Anuradha Koirala, Pushpa Basnet, Mother Teresa should have been given Miss Universe and Miss World. But here, we're rather praising the glamorous queens. I say that instead of wasting money in such useless pageants, had it been used for the empowerment of women in the remote areas, it would have been much better for the development of our country. My opponent also said that it is helpful to boost up your self-confidence, but I say it breaks down. To the 3 girls with the tiaras, of course it's great, but to the girls not winning, it is a destruction to their self-esteem and depresses them so much that they even take drastic steps like suicides. Who is responsible for that? Beauty pageants. Therefore, beauty pageants are like an iceberg. Though it may seem glamorous from the surface, very few know the danger that lies beneath. Thank you.
I'd like to tell all of you that you did very well today for our first competition round. And it just shows that in 3 years of conducting the debate, it's just got better. Most of you were off the topic. The topic is not whether beauty pageants should be held or not. The topic is whether a beauty pageant does harm to the participants or does it do good to the participant. So when you debate, you always have to be very careful with the topic. Right? Topic could always be tricky when it's on a national level competition. But because most of you made the same mistake, it goes for all of you. I would think most of you have done very well, except for some of you whom it looked like you had mugged up the contents. And when you forget, then it shows up. And 2 or 3 of you did counter argument most of the time, which is the best part of any debate. Right? You could come prepared, that's one thing, but you could spend your entire debating time just on arguing against your contestants, and that has the highest markup.
Really impressed by all of you. The objectification of women is a topic I really care about, so I was really excited to hear your thoughts on it, and I could tell that a lot of you had really connected with the issue and thought through it. So I was really impressed by the maturity and the level of analysis that you guys displayed when you were looking at the issue and the individual impact it had on both the contestants and the viewers, but also on more systemic issues and as the world and society as a whole. So that was really great because you were doing a multi-level analysis as part of your debate. So I was really impressed by that. And then also the fact that you pulled in and more importantly cited a lot of statistics and examples to support your arguments was also a really strong feature.
Most of you were a bit off topic, definitely, but however, your understanding, the arguments you presented were very well structured. It was researched and properly grounded. Debate's all about facts than fiction. And here, all of the contestants presented a lot of facts which needed a lot of research. So it really has taken your debate, your arguments a level up. You had really good points, but if the judges cannot understand what you're saying, it's difficult for us to mark you. So probably that would lead to losing points. So please keep in mind that you present the points in such a manner that the judges can comprehend what you're actually trying to say. Overall, the performance was amazing. Outstanding job.
So going to the next round, Aryama Upreti, Gurusa Misra, Akriti Dahal, Prajita Shrestha, Dibyansi Bhattarai, Stuti Singh. Congratulations, you'll be going to the next round.
INGOs in Nepal have done more harm than good.
INGOs, International Non-Governmental Organizations, or rather, business opportunities where the staffs have access to foreign funds and use them to fill their own pockets. INGOs have been entitled as separate from government, whereas government is what controls everything in Nepal. So if they are here to do any good, then how will calling themselves as separate from government and working on their own going to solve anything? Do they even have proper knowledge of Nepal? Even importing foreign experienced delegates is not going to help, because majority of the donations is going to be used for their food, accommodation and airport pickups, and the remaining leftover 25 to 30% for community development. So my dear, how are INGOs doing any good if they are misutilizing the funds like this? My opponent said that INGOs like FAO have been helping to uplift the marginalized people in the society. No, INGO programs that have been targeted to only specific people in the society have in fact been dividing the society and flaring up conflicts, because if you belong to a certain ethnic group, you can get help easily. If not, you will be left alone. This notion of the INGOs have been causing lots of social discontent. Another, INGOs have high international wages, and this factor removes the competent workforce from local employment. Often, local employees working in an INGO are the most educated, and they could have taken up any job in either government or private sectors. And that would help in development of Nepal. But here, forget about those newly educated job seekers. Even government officials have been lured away by the salaries, the high salaries that INGOs offer. And due to this tapping in of local human resources, there has been an increase in corruption, there has been an increase in brain drain, and due to this, the quality of civil services are declined. Therefore, INGOs have been doing more harm than good. Thank you.
The competition in the first competition round was about, who is better, and I think today I felt you're competing the other way around. Most of you took retakes, and that's a problem when you mug up a debate. And I had told last time also, please don't mug up a debate, right? Second thing is get your data and facts right. Most of you quoted different numbers for the same content. A couple of logics were out of place. It's not a very difficult topic. Actually, it's a very easy topic to debate either for the motion or even against the motion.
First, I want to congratulate all of you. It was interesting to hear your arguments, and you definitely had my attention. Just going on from what Santosh suggested, I think what would be really helpful is to give more concrete examples of what you're describing. So what are the ways in which they've done harm or the ways in which they've done good? Give us some concrete stories or examples, and as well as more statistics that back the facts that you're presenting. I think that would be really helpful.
For Stuti, I think you used some pretty strong statements in your argument, and I didn't see any clear references or citations. It's okay to use statements, but always back it up.
My opponent said that INGOs have been providing help and donations for the welfare. True, but these donations have been making Nepal so dependent on aid that even though if we have the resources, they are left untouched, and instead millions of products like food, books, medical equipments, etc. are being continued to import without actually accessing the local content. And these INGOs, in the name of helping, they get excellent means to advertise and sell their products globally. My opponent also said that most INGOs in Nepal are registered, But that's not enough. Along with registration, they also need to be members of Association of INGOs in Nepal, AIN. Whereas the chief of AIN himself says that around 20% are of the total around 200 INGOs in Nepal are unregistered and they are unpredictable. So what does this suggest? They certainly do harm. Therefore, most INGOs are working here not to save lives, but mainly to impress their donors. Thank you.
We'll have to let two of you go today. I'll take two names. Please step ahead. And we will encourage you to apply again and continue debating, right? So, Dibyanshi and Gurusa, please step forward. We're very sorry to tell you that your 2014 debate is still here only. But 2015 do apply.
Basic military training should be compulsory after high school.
The modern world is turning itself into rival camps armed with deadly destructive weapons. Almost every country suspects some other country to be against itself, especially for a country like Nepal, bordered by such powerful states like China and India. Definitely preparedness for war is the best guarantee. And how is that possible? Through compulsory basic military training. Military training is equivalent to schooling of body and mind in the art of defense and is preparatory education for insurgencies. Especially training right after high school is the best because the youths are still in their development phase and can acquire lots of skills with ease. The training includes basic knowledge of arms and escape procedures during disasters, and I don't think anyone can argue that these skills do not come in handy because they do. Patriotism would be on the rise. In fact, by militarizing, all the qualities of head and heart that we lack today, like team spirit, loyalty, selflessness, and courage can be attained through military training. A simple example of ourselves. After 3 years, we complete high schooling. And if there was the provision of compulsory military training, we would be getting to learn practical life skills like first aid, wild survival, self-defense, computer and mechanical skills. And now, how is learning all these in just a matter of a year or two a waste of time? You can even start your own career with these. So I say basic military training should be compulsory. The argument was that when you go into military, it's against your fundamental right. But let me tell you, if you never have your rights taken away from you, will you ever learn to value those rights or value the sacrifice our soldiers have made? Just because you get the training does not mean you are being forced into a combat. Your right to choose the career of your choice is still fully secure. After training, you can pursue your college and jobs all fit and fine. Moreover, if you are physically and mentally strong when you first start your career, just imagine how far you can go. Many countries in the world, like most powerful countries like China, Russia, Germany have conscription. In Germany, they require men to do a 9-month training, due to which in the last war, it took England and America many years to fight with the same efficiency as that of Germany, because in those countries, recruitment is on a voluntary basis. Another advantage. A country would rarely think or think twice before invading us if all the men, women and youth of our nation are well known about how to combat in a real situation. But even if there happens to be an emergency, we already have insurance against foreign attack. According to the new law formulated in 2014 in January in UAE, all men are required to do 9-month training in military. All these prove that past or present, military training has always been a priority for self-defense. Therefore, it should be made mandatory after high school. Thank you.
Stuti, you were quite confident and very precise, but the matter could have improved. What you spoke, that could have been even better.
It's good, like when you're doing a debate, it's good to have points, but it's like bad just to say those points. Some of you said a lot of fantastic points, but you didn't go behind it. You just mentioned it, which wasn't so strong enough. You need to go back and tell more about it. Akriti and Stuti, you did it very well. You did give your points, and then you did explain it a bit. I know we have a shortage of time. You know, you can't explain a long thing, but you at least have to hit it hard. You know, it's no use just giving points, okay? Stuti, again, you supported your points, that's very good. But then, you know, some of the points were a little, you know, you did do your homework, but at the same time, you need to be strong, okay? When you're explaining it, not generally, don't go emotional, okay? Don't go sentimental, emotional, go with facts. Okay, you did go in some points. Okay.
The argument was that today's weapons are all mechanized and nuclear. Exactly. That is why we need not only soldiers, but we need more scientists, more engineers, more technicians, and more people from many other sectors that at least need to have the basic training. People cannot be trained in such matters in a day or two. It is therefore proper that some of the educational period of the youth be utilized for this purpose. And please do not talk about the expenses that Nepal has to create for the military training, because as said previously, the military expenditure in Nepal is only 2% as measured by World Bank in 2010. Another, misuse of arms. There was an argument that you would be misutilizing your arms and military skills. As per the report in Republica on August 19th, unless and until you have a crime-free record and a gun license obtained after meticulous procedures from the arms management system at Home Ministry, you cannot use any ammunitions. It's not that you purchase a gun and you start firing. So the chances of misusing are also very less. Thank you.
I think all four of you did very well. A lot of hard work was put in. After a lot of thinking, I think Stuti Singh for the next round and Aryama Upreti for the next round.
Government should prioritize agriculture over remittance economy.
Agriculture is not merely an occupation of majority of the population of Nepal, but also the only naturally renewable industry in the world. With its contribution to food security, employment, national income, trade and industrial development, agriculture continues to remain the backbone of Nepalese economy. Nepal is mainly an agrarian country with 66.5% of the total population's involvement in agriculture. Nepal's diverse climates in the hills and mountains favor lucrative production of subtropical and temperate crops, whereas Tarai, endowed with fertile plains, account for the major agricultural production of Nepal. The hills account for horticulture production and the Himalayas for livestock production. Put them all together, and Nepal commands a greater potential for agriculture than many other nations in the world because of its enormous diversity and ample water resources. Yet, it is very embarrassing for us to say that we do not have enough agricultural products for our own consumption, despite the statistics showing that Nepal is mainly an agricultural country. The data of Nepal Rashtra Bank shows that rice worth 2.87 billion rupees has been imported from India in 2070 BS and vegetables worth 2.16 billion in the same duration. Had these been manufactured in the nation itself, these import expenses would have been really low, depositing the billions into the nation's pocket. Remittance is only a short-term solution to unemployment. Till when are we to send off our worthy citizens to far-off lands and get enrolled in those lowly paying jobs? Should they input the same amount of toil in the arable lands of Nepal, they would have done much progress here. Plus, we have not been able to produce manpower as per the need of the foreign job market, due to which our citizens have to work as the unskilled or the semi-skilled workers, and their earnings are not enough. Thus, Nepalese labor is wasted for development of other nations, and our nation will always lag behind. Another chief drawback of remittance is the increasing dependency of Nepal on remittance rather than investments. This reduces the export level and increases the import level, which means that the money sent from abroad is again being directed outwards. Furthermore, should there be a sudden stop in the influx of these remittances, then our nation will suffer from huge financial crisis because we are not independent enough to back up the economy by ourselves. Isn't that a shame? If agriculture is developed, agricultural tourism can also be developed, which in turn helps to promote the local agricultural products in the world market and brings in lots of tourists from all around the world. Our country is not directly linked or directly accessible to the fuel pipelines, and as a result we have to import them from the neighboring nations at very high price. But if agriculture was developed and energy crops like maize and millet were manufactured in abundance in Nepal itself, we could have substituted the demand of the excessively increasing price of the fossil fuels. This would also help in reducing the import costs. The Israel government will now provides scholarships to 400 Nepalese students, as per the report in Kathmandu Post of 27th May 2014, that was yesterday, because they saw lots of prospects of farming in Nepal. So if international governments are investing, why should our government not prioritize agriculture? Commercial tea farming in Ilam, coffee production in Gulmi, or ostrich farming in Nawalparasi, etc., has already provided huge revenue for the country. 60% of the total coffee production is being exported to foreign nations. That is 418 metric tons. In 2012, Nepal exported coffee worth 50 billion rupees to Japan, and this has helped a lot for the development of our nations. These facts prove that agricultural growth can help to sustainably progress for the development of nation, and thus government should prioritize agriculture over remittance economy. Thank you. My opponent said that remittance can be used for investments in agriculture and other sectors. May I start again? My opponent said that remittance can be used for investments in various other sectors and agriculture as well. But have we seen any industry springing up with the sole investment of remittance? When all the able manpower is snatched away by remittance to foreign nations, who is going to invest? And moreover, 79% of the remittance is spent majorly in the household activities, but as per the National Migration Survey 2013. And it's not just even household expenses. Majority of the rural families spend it for alcohol consumption and tobacco consumption, and less than 2% for education or other important services. So what investments are being made by the remittances? Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with Stuti. Stuti, your content was okay. You could have been better with your content. You had arguments, but it could have been better. Okay. Now you are confident enough, but you should be slow and clear. Don't try to speak fast. All right. That makes your presentation good. It looks good. Okay. You had facts, but whenever you put facts, it should match with the arguments. Okay. You could do better. Overall, it was very good.
I'm gonna start with Stuti. Stuti, I think your content was good. It was really good. However, you lagged in the argument part, and to somewhat extent, I think you lacked on this. You were not spontaneous enough.
Like both of them said, I mean, both of you were good, but both of you need to slow down. Both of you are like running. I mean, you need to slow down and.
Labor agreement has not been signed, even with Gulf countries where majority of the Nepalese workers go. And the host countries do not have any responsibilities or mechanisms to look into the grievances of the Nepali migrants. And the consequences are right in front of us. We hear about coffins that arrive at Kathmandu airport every day, consisting the bodies of these Nepalese workers. In 2013, Nepalese government says that 173 Nepalese died in Qatar of accidents, mostly in the stadium that was being built for the World Cup Finals 2022. And besides, such a parasitic dependence on other nations for the nation's economy by staking the lives of the citizens is not a matter to be proud of, is it? The argument was that economy is driven by remittance. No, as per the Wikipedia records, the remittance contributes only 24.7% of the total GDP in Nepal, whereas agriculture contributes 40%. Remittance can never overpower the contribution of agriculture in Nepal. Another argument was that agriculture is suffering from heavy underinvestment. Not anymore. As per the report in Republica of 29th April 2014, government has plans to mechanize and prioritize agriculture so that there can be increase in the productivity of crops. Thank you. Remittance encourages more migration of labor. Remittance encourages more migration of labor because the family members receiving remittance think that they would be better off moving to a developed nation rather than staying back at their home country. This on the long run has created a lot of brain drain, which is the major reason why we are lacking behind in the agricultural sector. And what is the thing for this? It is because of the craving for the remittance. Nowadays in the fields, it is only the elderly or the children that we see working in the fields. It is not the youths. So when they are driven by remittance, then how are we expecting to develop in agriculture?
Stuti had some better arguments in the second round. Okay, and you had some facts. So you had your language and expression was okay, but you seem confused while concluding, And again, in the second round also, you're not seen countering your opponent with their facts.
Stuti, your presentation was very good. I like the way you talk and presented yourself and expressed. Very calm, very gentle, very good. However, when you were giving examples and when you had to reveal your source, I think you lagged somewhere over there on that part.
All right, both of you are good again. Right? And Stuti, I think you missed out a lot of points that you could have hit on her, but then you missed out a lot of stuff. Best of luck, both of you are, coming to this point, you're already a winner, so best of luck.
Okay, we now have the results, overall results. Okay, before I announce the results, both of you were good, equally good. There was some margin that made the difference. Okay, so in the coming days, you can work out on where you were missing, and both of you can make a good debater. Okay, all the best for that. Now, in the second place with 206 points, we have Stuti Singh, and in the first place with overall 215 points, we have Arema. Congratulations, Arema, and well done, Stuti.
You can call us at 425-7250 for feedback or email us at leadershipacademyktm@gmail.com. Have a nice week. Namaste.